name is Lincoln Noel. This is the Royal Voluntary Service, Virtual Village Hall, and I am performing as part of Black History Month. For the next hour, I hope you can stay with us and enjoy the music that I play and the little vignettes of tales that I tell as I guide us through the next hour to noon. Black History Month, as a man of colour, is significant because although everything I do is not defined by my ethnicity, I play jazz, but I play classical. I play operatic arias. I play folk songs. I play for everybody. I don't play for any specific race. But I have been influenced significantly on my musical journey from 0 to 56 by various significant Black personalities. The first person I wanted to talk about is a gentleman called Paul Robeson, because I played in the West End on a show about Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson was a Black activist who opened as Othello, but yet was refused entry to his own opening night party because of his colour. That, even now, baffles me, because I've been to the Savoy Hotel in London many, many times, and I've never been refused, I hasten to add. Paul Robeson sang Old Man River in Showboat and became an overnight success. I'm going to play 2 songs from this show. First of all, I'm going to tell God all my troubles, and then I'm going to attempt, and it will be an attempt, to sing Old Man River. I haven't got the voice of Leon Herbert, who played the lead, and I certainly haven't got the voice of Robeson, but just to give you a flavour. I'm going to tell God all of my troubles when I get home. I'm going to tell God all of my troubles when I get home. I'm going to tell him all of my troubles. Tell him all of my troubles. I'm going to tell God all of my troubles when I get home. Tell him the road was rocky when I get home. I'm going to tell him the road was rocky when I get home. I'm going to tell him the road was rocky. Tell him the road was rocky. Tell God all of my troubles when I get home. There's an old man called Mississippi. That's the old man I don't want to be. What does he care if the land ain't trouble? What does he care if the land ain't true? Oh, I know we played and soon. While you're aching on the racks with pain, told that barge, lift that bale, shove it in the pit, and you land in jail. But I keep rooting instead of crying. I must keep rolling instead of dying. But old man River, he just keeps rolling along. stretch and strain, body all aching and racked with pain. Float that barge, lift that bale, shove a little grit, and you land in jail. I must keep fighting and keep on trying. I must keep fighting instead of crying. But old river, he just keeps rolling on. Paul Robeson, he got me going. Apologies, folks, I've got a bit of a cold, and so bear with the voice. My first real significant influence in my life was 5 brothers. In 1970, my 5th birthday, the Jackson 5, who then became the Jacksons. And then, of course, the little lead singer grew up and became a superstar. And that, of course, is Michael Jackson. I could never, ever talk about my journey through life and music without talking about the Jackson 5, the Jacksons, and Michael Jackson. So please sit back and enjoy my personal tribute to the Jacksons. There you are. My tribute to the Jacksons, Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, my ultimate black heroes. Professionally, after I'd done Rosen, I was encouraged to do something called jazz. Now, you may think that a man that looks like me, who got into music at the age of 3, probably had a musical father who was a jazz trumpeter, or a bass player, or a guitarist, or a singer. My dad was simply a storeman. My mum was a psychiatric nurse. Still is. My mum is still alive. My father passed away almost 30 years to the day, as did my father-in-law, Pete, whose anniversary was 5 days ago. But Fat Swaller, we were aware of Fat Swaller. And they needed a guy who was black and had a presence, but more importantly, could play and sight read 35 songs in 24 hours. That became me. So I started to learn about stride. And the next contribution is going to feature the music of Fat Swaller, a guy who, like me, like many black musicians actually, was classically trained, a very competent organist. His left hand featured a lot of stride patterns, tenths. This was a man who knew his harmony, you know. Big chords, progressive chords, honeysuckle rose. I'm going to sit right down and write myself a letter. And of course, the title song of the show I did, Ain't Misbehaving. And as I say to you girls, I ain't either. Every honeybee filled with jealousy when they see you out with me. I don't blame them, goodness knows, 'cause you're my honeysuckle rose. When you're passing by, flowers droop inside, and you and I know the reason why. You're much sweeter, goodness knows, 'cause you're my honeysuckle rose. Don't buy sugar, you just have to touch my cup. Now you're my sugar, so sweet when you stir it up. When I'm taking sips from those tasty lips, seems the honey fairly drips. You're my confession, goodness knows, you're my honeysuckle rose. No one to talk to, all by myself. No one to walk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. And misbehaving, saving my love for you. And you, and you, and you. I'm for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's you that I'm thinking of. I'm misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in the corner, don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. Believe me, I don't stay out late, no place to go. I'm home about 8, just leaving my ring. Misbehaving. stay out late, no place to go. I'm home about 8. Just me and my friends reading. You see, I can't afford it. They misbehaving, I'm saving my love. They misbehaving, saving my love. They misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. One never knows. Do one. Oh, apologies for the vocal. The coughing vocal. Fats Waller. Thomas Fats coughing Waller. Lincoln Coffee. Noel, the maestro. I tell you what, give my voice a rest. And going to guys who were always there in the periphery. I was listening to them, observing them, watching their presentation, their style. I'm talking about Ray Charles. I'm talking about Stevie Wonder. I'm talking about Lionel Richie. These were the people who sat at the piano, played and sang. Their harmonies were rich. Their technique was secure. These guys were well schooled. This is the thing that has always struck me about all these guys, is there's this lovely notion that these guys picked it up by ear. But when you study the sheet music of these songs, you realise that these guys really knew what they were doing. So I'm going to throw the three of them together. Stevie, Ray Charles, Lionel Richie. So yeah, Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder. So many Stevie Wonder tracks I could play. But we've only got an hour. I mean, I could probably play for 10 days if I just sat and played all the Stevie tunes that have influenced me. Lately, I remember that tune at a very poignant moment in my life when I was leaving home to go to London to study. And I just remember that tune sticking in my head in my teens. Lionel Richie was another, the Commodores, another wonderful songwriter who Three Times a Lady was the tune that really brought him to my attention. And Ray Charles was one of those people that I always saw in the great black and white films when I was young. And I kept watching this guy who intrigued me. He was so good. He was so unique. He was so individual. But I was watching so many people. People be saying to me, he hasn't played any rhythm and blues. You see, I had a happy childhood, so there was no pathos in my life. I didn't need to. My dad wasn't drinking heavy and cheating on my mum, so that wasn't part of my life. But there was a gentleman that used to come on BBC television in the UK regularly, Canadian jazz pianist. He had everything: technique, musicianship, dexterity. And he was Oscar Peterson. He was the man that really got me into jazz. So I'm going to play the one tune that I always think of, Oscar, and that's Satin Doll. But I also remember him accompanying so many great singers, and one particular singer that stayed with me was Ella Fitzgerald. It's only after Ella Fitzgerald died that I truly appreciated what a great singer she was. And the fact that everybody who sings, every female who sings jazz is trying to be Ella Fitzgerald. But first of all, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Satin Doll with a bit of Oscar Peterson. To the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I wanted, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Need a smoke. I wanted all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you. Oscar meets Ella Fitzgerald, meets Nina Simone, but I haven't forgotten this man. But also, similarly around that time was a gentleman who really should have been more famous. But I think that the subtleties of discrimination kept him back because his music was referred to as devil music. I'm talking about Louis Jordan. Station with a pack on my back. I drive a transportation in the back of the hack. I love to hear the rhythm of the clickety clack. See the lonesome whistle, see the smoke in the stack. Ride around with them granny fellas named Matt. So take me right back to the track. Jack, choo choo, choo choo choo, yeah, whoa whoa, whoa whoa choo, yeah, choo choo, choo choo choo, yeah, take me right back to the track. Jack. You need some conversation, you back in the black. Take them on the way from the top of the stack. Read the situation from the front to the back. We on the job stone, we need to remember the knack. So put it right back in the rack. Choo choo, choo choo choo, yeah, whoa whoa, whoa whoa choo, yeah, choo choo, choo choo choo, yeah, take me right back to the track. Right back to the track. So that's when I learned to play rock and roll properly. When I did a show called Choo 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 Boogie up in Bolton. But what did I listen to as a child? What were my parents playing? Well, there was a chap, a band called The Charms that my dad used to play when we had 45s. Remember them? Yeah? Hill and gully ride, oh, hill and gully. Hill and gully ride, oh, hill and gully. Be careful how you go. On your brushy toe. Hill and gully, bend down low. Hill and gully, don't die long. Hill and gully, belly to belly. Hill and gully, gee up, gee up. Hill and gully ride. So that's my dad's early days in the 60s, listening to the blue beat. And my mum, her side of the family, so my dad was from Grenada. People say Jamaica. My dad was from Grenada. If you don't know where it is in the West Indies, look it up. Grenada, Grenada. Met my mum, who was from Barbados, here in Northampton, 2 miles down the road. I still live where my parents first met. Did they meet in the Caribbean? They met in St. James. Can you believe that? Her family love Calypsonians. That every day you're smoking and never see you buying. Buy your own cigarettes. Cultivate the habit and know you can't afford it. Buy your own cigarettes. Cultivate the habit and know you can't afford it. Buy your own cigarettes. You call each other brother, your cigarette you're after. Buy your own cigarettes. So there's the calypso. I don't play a lot of calypso. That's the first time I've ever played that for anybody. I just play those tunes for myself. And then a little bit later in my life, we had a reggae tune in the charts in Britain that went... And I reckon that tune influenced this tune. UB40. And also this one. Madness, The Prince, which was their first hit. But before all of that, when I was a wee boy, we had this tune that went like this. It's gonna be a night, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. So I had loads and loads of music all around me. And one tune that I heard lots and lots and lots, which I'm going to do for you now, was Summertime. And another tune, which I always wanted to play, but was dissuaded from playing, I've Got Rhythm. So I'm going to finish, because time is flying by, and say thank you so much for joining me on this little journey celebrating my black musical heroes. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, because I listen to music and I want the music to move me, because the music moves me more than the ethnicity of the people who are moving me. You know, I love the Turkish music. And the Indian music. And of course, I love the Beatles. But when you talk to these people, and George Michael, he tells me that he was listening to Looking at the Dark at the Bay. So these guys are significant and they must be celebrated. They're taking you to the music of George Gershwin. I'm going to play the music of George Gershwin. Although George Gershwin was Jewish, but he wrote Porgy and Bess for a black cast, an exclusively black cast, in the early 20th century, which is unheard of. Everyone who could ask for anything more. I got sunbeams in green pastures. I got Lincoln who could ask for anything more. Don't let trouble, you gotta find him. You can find him right outside my door. Yeah, of course I've got rhythm. But you got to have spirit, you got to have soul, and you got to have integrity. And all the music I've played had all of that. And that's why it has influenced me and made me the musician that I have become. But I'm going to finish with the piece of music that has stayed with me from the first moment I heard it in January 1977, because it accompanied a TV series that changed the whole world. It changed the way that we all look at ourselves. And it made me think about who I am, where I came from, the journey that my people have traveled. The TV series was Roots, and the writer was Alex Haley, who went back to West Africa to trace his roots and told the whole story. It is the theme tune of that TV series that reminds me of who I am, who I really am, and reminds me to be the best person I can be to everybody, wherever they come from, wherever they're going, whatever their creed, whatever their color. But this was specifically about a Black American family, the saga of an American family. So I shall leave you with this tune, Roots. The theme tune to Roots, written by the first Black American musical director on American TV, the man who made Michael Jackson really great, Quincy Jones, an icon, along with all the icons I've spoken today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope this has made you think, whether you are a person of color or you're not, we're all from the same mother. We've just traveled different paths. But thank you for giving me 60 minutes of your time. And I'm going to finish, really going to finish, with the bare necessities. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities, about your worries and your strife. I mean those bare necessities, that's why a bear can rest. That brings the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I go, I could be floating, but not be home. The bees are buzzing. trees to make some honey just for me. Right there, because there's rocks, plants, and timberlands, fancy for me to try a few. The bare necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. They'll come to you. They'll come. I'd like to thank my friends at the Royal Voluntary Service for allowing me this platform to play for you. The lovely ladies that work behind the scenes, I won't embarrass them by naming them. You know who you are. Catch that. Folks, take care. Have a blessed weekend. They'll come to you. They'll come to you. They'll come to you. Goodbye, folks. God bless.